Jambo, jambo bana, habari gani? Nzuri sana, wageni wakaribishwa Kilimanjaro, hakuna matata.
Hi, everyone. My name is Grace Moyd, and I'm the Executive Director of Thrive Global Project. I'm so sorry I cannot be at the meeting today, but I wanted to jump on and send a video to talk a little bit about the mental preparation for Mount Kilimanjaro. So I have been fortunate to be able to climb and summit twice, and I had two really different experiences, both climbs. So the first climb was, of course, my first time climbing, but also we had a bigger group, and you just don't know what to expect. And I know a lot of y'all are sitting in that right now of not sure what that's going to look like, how you're going to feel, how the altitude's going to impact you. And so I'm going to talk about that first, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about what I did to really hyper focus my training for that second time, which gave me even more success of not just summiting, but really feeling so good during my summit and like my climb. I think it's, I make the running joke, I hike once a year, and it's to hike Kilimanjaro. And with that, as long as you can walk pole pole, which in Swahili means slowly, slowly, as long as you can take one step in front of the other, very slow, then you can climb the mountain. But one thing that I think is important to make note of, because we have this luxury of time before we climb, is the importance of when you're training for the mountain, the more training you're able to get in, and not just physical, but mental, you're going to be so much more successful. You're going to feel so good on the mountain. And I think that's something that I really recognized my second climb. So my first climb, I went in and I did the training. I was physically ready for the climb. However, I was holding on to lots of stuff in the sense of like mentally of making sure, oh my gosh, make sure I have this, which you'll feel. But once you're on the mountain, you have it. Your only goal, and Ema and your head guide will tell you that your only goal is to make it to the next camp. That's your only goal for the day. And for people like a lot of us who are busy and have hundreds of things to think about during the day, whether that be work or childcare or relationships, friendships, there's lots of things pulling our attention here. But when you're on the mountain, you've already packed, you've done all the preparation. Your only goal is to make it to the next campsite. And so for the first time, I just remember feeling very physically ready, but mentally, my mind just wasn't nearly as sharp as I wanted to, because I didn't know what to expect and no one had really shared with me. So with that, I just remember every day, like I had a running to do of things of just like that were spinning in my mind. And it took me almost 3 days to really shut that off and be able to just be so present and focused. And just my only job for that day was to make it to the next camp and drink my intake of water, which at that point I had made it a game, and made it even more of a game my second climb. So with that, I really want to focus on that mental preparation and component piece. And in the training guide that so many of you all have received from Baracco, who have put their deposits in, that you see the physical and you see like some readings you can do for, that mental clarity, that mental strength, preparing you mentally for the mountain. But I wanted to share a personal experience of what I did when I started training my second time that was imperative for my success and feeling so good. So on my second climb, when I was during my training, of course I had reached the summit. So I had a little bit of confidence. I've done it before. My body's been at that altitude. I know how my body's impacted. So I really wanted to just really hone in even more on my physical side, how I could cut my time down and be able to make it even quicker. And we were going with a smaller group that year, so there was more possibilities to make it in a quicker time. And so with that, with every training, and I did the majority of my training on like cycling and being able to, be in that cycle class. And when we hit the big hills and I go to one of those cycling studios that's very upbeat, that has music. And so you're really just already in this zone. But I distinctly remember in all my classes, when it got really hard, and I really could have like turned off some of the resistance and kind of not put in the work at that time, as every, workout will come to when you're training for Kilimanjaro or anything. I started visualizing what those last steps looked like to get to summit. Like when I saw it in front of me that I hadn't made it yet. And I visualized, whether it be for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 30 seconds, approaching summit. And I know that I have the luxury to do that because I had already summited. However, in this amazing day and age that we live in, you will see photos of, the summit. And so what I want to encourage you all mentally, as you start preparing physically, pair that when your workout gets the hardest and you kind of have to close your eyes and focus in to get through it, make sure that you are seeing ahead of you that summit, that's what your mind is constantly on. And that made such a difference for me. I have never felt my second climb, my body and my physical and mental health just at its sharpest, because I had prepared. When I saw it, when I knew every day, that's what was the photo that was in front of me, the next camp, the next summit, what that summit visualized. When it got really tough, I knew that was my end goal. And there's not that many times in life where you have a very shortened goal, that's your only focus. And that is what you're going to do in the next 6 days. That's the only thing they ask of you. And so being able to visualize that and have that a part of your physical workout helped me tremendously. So I'm so excited for you all to join us and climbing the mountain. It is an incredible experience. It's truly life-changing because there's just not that many times where you're going to be able to be phone free and have one thing in front of you, and it's to work your mind and your body to the nth degrees. You're pushing it to the nth degrees that you've never done before. And it's incredible. It's changed when I say changed my life, of the way that I work towards goals, the way that I approach life. And I'm really so excited that each one of you get to experience that in such an incredibly beautiful way. So thank y'all so much for jumping on, and I'm excited to meet all of you and spend some incredible time in Tanzania together in July.
Hakuna matata,
kesho kutwa ndiyo Karanga,
hakuna matata,
tutakwenda barafu,
hakuna matata,
watakwenda Ukuru,
hakuna matata,
kitawachoma sana,
hakuna matata. Habari gani? Nzuri sana. Wageni wakaribishwa Kilimanjaro, hakuna matata. Boa, boa.
Gumu bomba,
Bomba, bomba.
Makazi bomba,
Bomba, bomba.
haina noma,
Bomba, bomba.
Nipeni kusense, nipeni kusense, wageni bomba,
Bomba, bomba.
akili bomba,
Bomba, bomba.
amani bomba,
Bomba, bomba.
nipeni kusense, nipeni kusense. Kata, mwanangu kata, bira kata,